What's up guys, you are watching TUGGtv and welcome back to another episode of Gear Chronicles, this time discussing our bass guitars. We hope you enjoyed that tune. That is an own composition, work in progress. If you liked it, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button along with the bell icon to check out more content from us. Coming down to the gear itself, this of course is the bass guitar we use. I say we because we are using an identical setup, which means we use the exact same instrument. Putting in a picture over here, we've got the same bass guitars, the black one being mine and the red one belongs to Vishesh. Which color do you like? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. So this is the guitar we use. This is the Cort Action V5 Plus bass guitar, 5-string bass, poplar body, rosewood fretboard, passive JJ pickups and an active 2-band EQ. The rest of the specifications are going to be up on the screen. Also going to leave a link in the description below for you to check it out. So if you have to look at this guitar up top, it's got a glossy paint. So yeah, that is going to leave some fingerprints on it. Not a big problem though. Over here, of course, we've got our pickups. And if you look at the knobs over here, essentially we have got a master volume knob. We've got a leveler. This is going to let you select which pickup you want to play on. It would be either neck, bridge or both depending on how you dial it. And these two of course are the 2-band EQ. This one for treble and this one for bass. What I cannot show you though is when you move these knobs, it sort of has a click. And what that click essentially is to let you know that it is in middle position. So with the leveler, if the click comes in, that means you're using both the pickups. You can dial left and right according to how much you want on bridge or neck. And with the respective equalizers, the click means you're in the middle position, so the EQ is flat. And then of course you can dial for more and less. And of course if I flip this over, as you can see, it's got a battery compartment here because this is an active EQ, so that's what the battery is for. And another compartment, cavity here for you to work on all the electrical bits. I bought this guitar about 2 years ago. I picked it up from Reynolds, which is in Bangalore on Brigade Road, and I paid in tune of 15,000 rupees for this guitar. Vishesh picked his up from the used market around about a few months ago, almost half a year ago, and he paid about 10,000 rupees for his. So in terms of why we play a 5-string bass, when we were playing with our band, we didn't really have a bass guitarist. It was Vishesh and me interchanging and playing some songs respectively on the bass guitar, which means we use the same guitar for practice and for live gigs. We were switching it around on stage as well. We at the time had bought an Ibanez GSR 205EX. It's a great bass guitar. We picked it up from the used market, and that of course was a 5-string. Over time, of course, that had deteriorated and it was time to move on. So when we were upgrading, we just decided to stick with 5 strings because we got used to it. Also, having the same equipment, the same guitar essentially is useful to us during tracking and recording as well, because sometimes we track and record in our respective places. So having the same guitar, especially the bass, gives some level of homogeneity to the tone. Coming down to what I like about this guitar, firstly, it's got a nice, rich and dense tone about it. So even if I keep everything flat, and I'm playing both the bridge and the neck pickup, it's got a nice density to it. And further from there, having a 2-band EQ really adds to it, because I can go on and further tune and fine tune what kind of tone I want. So for example, this is a flat tone. If I want more treble into it, I can just dial that in. If I want less treble and more bass, I can get it really thick and fat. That 2-band EQ really gives a good amount of versatility. The other thing you get with this 2-band EQ and this entire package is that it becomes very versatile and you can use it across genres of music. So whether you're playing rock, metal, blues, jazz, this baby would be able to handle it all. The second thing I like about it, it's light. Even if you're not using a fancy strap, if you're just using a regular standard 2-inch guitar strap, this thing is not going to dig into your shoulder. I also have to say that I like the neck profile of this guitar. It's not too thick or too thin, and that comes handy when you're switching in between a lot of instruments. We are essentially guitarists, so when we moved on to playing the bass, we felt really comfortable with this neck. The fourth reason why I like this bass, pretty straightforward. It's a good deal. 5-string bass, active EQ, the hardware is good, the tuners hold tune well, the pickups are genuinely good and they can give some decent output. So it's not one of those basses which you buy and then you have to go running around for an upgrade. These things are going to hold up pretty good. In terms of what I don't like about this guitar, I would say I'd be nitpicking, but the strap lugs are a little weird. What I mean by this is when you've got it on and when you're playing it upright standing with the strap, it does feel like the strap is about to come off. It doesn't come off, but it always feels like that for some reason. It's not too much of a deal breaker because for a few $100 you can swap out these for better quality strap lugs or even strap locks. More of a personal opinion, but I would have loved to see this bass guitar with a PJ configuration where I'd like a P pickup on the neck and a J pickup on the bridge. The 2-band active EQ does make up for that lag, but if we had to have this with a PJ pickup, it would have been a killer deal, man. From the Ibanez GSR 205, which had soap bar pickups, initially this felt a little low in terms of output. So soap bars are like JJ pickups, but they're sort of double width, which means it gives a lot more punch and has a gnarlier tone, which is good for metal. But honestly, I think I would prefer this setup and a slightly lower output because firstly, there are various ways to manage and increase your output. And secondly, I prefer clarity. In conclusion, if you are looking for a guitar, if you are transitioning from guitar to bass, 4-string to 5-string, or you're just starting off, this is an excellent place to start. Decent price, good hardware, comes with enough bells and whistles as you need to go from like a beginner to an intermediate level. It works well, it's well set up, works out of the box, no problem. So another great thing about this bass guitar is that it is decently available. Now again, in India, there are a ton of bass guitars out there which would sort of compete with this, but in our country, not everything is available. And if it is available, sometimes the imports and customs costs just dial the whole thing up. So you get this at a good price and you get it widely at all the guitar shops. And that of course brings us to an end of this edition of Gear Talk. What did you think about it? If you have any thoughts, be sure to leave it in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe to our content. And as always, stay metal.
We are TUGGtv. Watch TUGGtv. Stay metal.
Stay metal.
Oh my god, this is much better than what you imagined.